Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Prestigious Talk Show. I'm your host, Faith Adodo. I am super excited today. Guess what? I have my special guest with me. With high demand, I decide to invite her again. Yes, I have Samantha Frederick with me live here in the studio. So, welcome, Samantha, to Prestigious Talk Show. You're welcome back again, once again.
Thank you, Faith. Thanks
Yes,
for
my
having me.
viewers, they said they wanted you, so I decided to ask you to come back. Yes. So, viewers, today we are going to be discussing women and mental health, but our main focus is going to be centered on four aspects of the mental health, because mental health, women and mental health, is a broad topic. So we decided to streamline it. So today we are going to be focusing on four aspects of women and mental health. One of the aspects is women and their attachment to their kids and how that could lead to mental illness. We'll also talk about women and trauma and how that could also lead to mental health. We'll talk about women and postpartum depression. If care is not taken, if the person is not treated on time, how that can lead to a serious mental illness. And again, we are also going to touch on this COVID-19 period, this pandemic, and how that has caused so many mental illness in the lives of so many women. So today, Samantha is going to help us. She's going to help us and tell us the signs, the symptoms, and how to prevent all these illnesses. So women, we do so much. So we need all this information to help us and also to guide us so that we'll be able to help ourselves. Our mental health is everything. We have to keep our mental health. We have to take care of our mental health. Our mental health is as important as our physical health. So that is why you see me inviting Samantha back again. And again, for those of you that have not seen her, Samantha, she's a social worker. She has masters in social work. And again, she's a therapist, a psychotherapist. She'll be here to help you. If you have any question, please feel free to send your question. I can read it out to Samantha and she'll be able to answer your question. Please participate. We have the comment section. Just comment and I'll be able to read it out to her and she'll be able to answer your questions. Okay. For those of you that are if you're trying to join me live, please go to my YouTube page. Okay. YouTube and Facebook page. We are there. Join us, please, on YouTube and on Facebook. Join us. And yes, we have, as I've promised before, I'll be inviting more professionals. All right. So next month, we are going to have somebody that is going to tell us about financial security, bank manager from Royal Bank. They'll be joining us. Okay. So I told you, just stay tuned. Prestigious Talk Show will be bringing professionals to help you, to enlighten you, and also to educate you on different issues, So for now, we are going to just invite Samantha to help us and, teach us about mental illness. She has done that before, but this time our main focus is on women because women will do so much. We have to take care of ourselves so that we'll be able to help others. Our mental health is very, very important for us to be able to for us to be able to take care of our family. So that is why I deem it fit to invite Samantha again. And because of the demand, I have all my audience. They were requesting for her. They love what she did the other time. And Samantha, kudos to you. I got about 32,000 views. That's a lot of views. Thank you so much. That was huge. I said, whoa, they love you. And yeah, you're going to see more of Samantha Frederick live on Prestigious Talk Show. So let me leave the show for Samantha to handle. So Samantha, you're the expert here. You have to educate us. That also includes me. I want to learn from you. Okay. Yes. So start with the first one. Women and their attachment with their kids and how that can also affect them mentally. Please the floor is yours now. The studio is all yours. So take it from there.
Thanks, Faith. Once again, I really appreciate you having me on your show again. It honestly means a lot. And
Yeah.
again, it's just us bringing about awareness, especially with the Black community, right? It's something that
Yes.
we don't always talk about a lot. So I'm glad that we're able to use this platform to just share, our thoughts, our experiences, and also just the professional aspect as well. So, um, I really like your question, Faith, because it's a question that again, we all do have attachment, um, just attachment styles, and just how that really influences and impacts how we interact with people. I know
Yes.
that we're focusing more so on women, so I'll focus more so on women.
Of course.
Yeah. When you think about attachment, again,
Yes.
there's no right or wrong definition with that. But when I think about attachment, I think about just that deep and enduring emotional bond between two or more people, right? There's a sense of closeness, and there's also a sense of security when you're around that particular individual. Now, with attachment, there's actually four types of attachment styles. Um, there's secure attachment, there's avoidant attachment, there's ambivalent attachment, and the last one is actually called disorganized attachment. Now I know that we're focusing more on the mental aspect.
Yes.
I won't really focus on secure attachment. I'll focus on the other three. Now with avoidant attachment, this particular attachment, this particular individual, they have a hard time with being very emotionally connected to that particular individual. They tend to be really emotionally distant. Now, with women, different things can actually influence their attachment. And again, everything actually goes back to trauma. Trauma is probably the main thing that influences and impacts people's mental illness and just their mental health on a whole. Now, with attachment styles, there's different factors that can influence how a woman gets attached to their kid. For instance, again, we have to go back to the past because the past influences the
The
present.
present.
And
Yes.
to actually understand the present, you have to go back to the past. So,
True.
for instance, if a woman goes through a very difficult time, perhaps with her mother or her father, or just different scenarios in general, anything, right? We won't go to in depth
To do.
in that regard. But let's say it's just like she's in a particular relationship, or she grew up where her mother was not so attached to her. Her mother was verbally abusive. Her mother was not really in her life. Now she has kids. Now, if that mom is not aware of her trauma can actually live vicariously through her child. Now, let's say that for instance, a mother has a miscarriage, or she ends up having an abortion. Now, we know that when people have abortions, there is some form of attachment to that
Of
child,
course.
right?
Yes.
So now you think about that mother had an abortion, now she has another child, and because she experienced a loss, she can gravitate towards her next child in a sense where there is some form of attachment. Now, because she clings to that particular child, right? She might impact and influence just their everyday living. For instance, because in her mind, she doesn't want to lose that child, she might find ways to kind of keep that child close. That child might want to, explore life, maybe go to school, maybe
Yes.
miles away, or they may want to move, miles away because that mom lost something.
Yeah.
And again, sometimes, it could be a void that's wanting to be filled, or just in general, because again, there's that level of attachment. Now she clings to that child. And the way that it can actually lead to a mental illness is anxiety, right? You're so anxious.
Yes.
Your child moves on. Now, you're really, worried. You're wondering, what's going on, how things are. But again, that influences, from things that occurred in her past. At the same time, if trauma is not dealt with, of course, it can be projected onto your kids, where if mothers or if women are not aware of their trauma in the sense where, okay, they are experiencing bodily, responses, they are experiencing different reactions. Again, Now, because of that, that can lead to a mental illness where they experience things like depression, where
Mm.
if their child may not need them as much now, they
Yes.
may feel lonely, right? They may feel sad
Yeah.
at the same time. But again, it also depends again on just experiences in life, different factors. Let's
Yeah.
say that there's a mom where she had a partner, and her partner, they are no longer together, and
Yes.
also has a son. She may be
Mm.
very clingy to that son
Fun.
because
Yeah.
she was so dependent on the guy who she was with. Now
Yeah.
that can lead to a mental illness where now that young man has his own partner.
Exactly.
Now she kind of feels away because she's no longer with, she know there's that level of attachment. It's not severed.
Yeah.
Actually in her mind it's severed, but it's not severed. He has weaned off to somebody else. Now
Mm-hmm.
she can feel anxious. She can feel like, she's no longer the center of her son's life. And now that
Mm-hmm.
can lead to her, again, feeling depressed. It
Anxiety.
can lead to her feeling extremely anxious because, she
Yes.
wants to know, where is he? Before he
Mm-hmm.
used to call when he was 15, 16 years old. Now he's 30, 40, 50 years old, and he no longer calls as much, right? That
Mm-hmm.
can lead to her feeling extremely anxious, wondering, what is he doing? Maybe, before, he used to call her when he would get home from school or from work. Now
Mm-hmm.
he's a grown man, and now that those things that occurred before, they no longer occur. Now the thing with attachment is it varies with everyone, right?
Yes.
Again, and it all goes back to, okay, well, how were you brought up? What are things that were adapted from your upbringing,
Yeah.
your parents, that are passed down? A lot
Mm-hmm.
of the times trauma is vicarious, where the experiences of a woman are passed down to their
The
children
children.
without them even being aware. And that's why
Mm.
it's so imperative that you are cognizant that, hey, you know what, I do experience trauma, and the main thing is
Seek help.
actually defining, actually being aware that you're
Mm-hmm.
traumatized and not being in denial.
Yeah, that really reminds me of you know
Mhm,
what, from I never knew that could be a trauma. I used to long time ago, that was maybe 16 years ago. I have a friend, and then during that period our kids were still very young,
mhm,
and she said something. I was
mhm,
really worried about her. She said she can't leave her kids with anybody. Oh, she
mhm,
can't even leave her kids. She feel scared when they are at the daycare. I said, why? She
mhm,
said she don't trust anybody. I said, what makes you not to trust anybody? She
mhm,
said I
mhm,
should forget something. I was trying to find out why. I
mhm,
didn't know much about trauma then. And she
mhm,
was just like, no, she just feel safe when her kids are with her. I was worried. I said, how
mhm,
about if something, God forbid, something happened to you and your kid, somebody want to take it? She said, no, she cannot. There's just this attachment,
mhm,
So I was wondering why or what happened from your explanation right now.
mhm.
I'm not thinking, I'm reflecting back, thinking
Right.
that, okay, maybe something happened to her and that was
Mhm,
not addressed. And she has not actually addressed that issue. Now
mhm.
she's now so attached to her kids that she
Okay.
wouldn't let go. She
Mhm,
has trust issues. Okay, so from your explanation, yes, yeah, it's
mhm.
okay to be attached to your kids, but once
Right.
it becomes something else, she's always anxious. No, I can't
Mm,
leave my kids with anybody. No, I can't do this. No, I can't. I said, but why?
right.
There's this trust issue. So you saying all this now just takes me back to that memory lane
Mhm,
that, oh, wow, maybe she did experience something,
right.
when she was growing up, but she has never addressed it.
Mhm,
So, and if you're watching us right now, Samantha has just told us about attachment, why some women are so attached to their kids and they can't let go. They are anxious. I can't let go. Sometimes they want to fill in the gap of their loved ones.
mhm,
Sometimes they are trying to fill in the gap of something that they've lost in the past.
mhm,
Okay. So when it becomes something that you are so you can't do without that, I can't do without my kids, I can't allow my kids to have their own life. It becomes something, you're so obsessed with your kids, it becomes
mhm.
something like obsession. You need help. You need help because sometimes they also need to be liberated from you. Everybody need their own space,
Right.
right? So in order for you, I'm not saying don't love your kids. Yeah,
Right. Right.
you love them, but they need their own space. They need to
Mhm,
breathe. So when you're too attached, it becomes something you have to actually check it out and seek the help of somebody. If you become if there's anything in your past that has happened to you and you've not addressed it, it has to be addressed because it's an issue. So, Samantha, thank you so much. I will just quickly check. I have two comments here. I'll quickly check the comments and read that out. Oh, they say hi, Faith. Hi, Samantha. Oh, hi. Whoever that is, hi. Thank you. Yes. So, yeah. So, thank you for actually unpacking that for us, Samantha. And we are just going to forge ahead with our second question. So viewers, if you're watching, if you have any question, please feel free to send us your message. I can read it out in the comment section. Please send us any message. Samantha is right here to answer any questions that you have regarding women, mental illness. If you have any questions, please be free to ask us any questions. Don't message me. Samantha is right here right now. If you're watching, please send your message in and she'll be able to help us out. So we are just going to continue. And before that, let me quickly go to the next question. Yes. So our next question is women and trauma and how that could lead to, we've talked about, I would just say we've talked about attachment, and you tie that in with trauma and how that can lead to mental illness. You talk about anxiety, you talked about depression, and how can they, for those, do you have any tips for women that are, experiencing experiencing attachment to their kids? They don't know how to. Do you have anything to tell them how they can kind of I'm not saying completely detach from their kids, or what can they do to help themselves? Please, can you help us with that so that my viewers who are watching right now, they will also know what to do?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question, Faith.
Yeah.
The first thing is, actually identifying what the concern is, and that's understanding. Okay, you know what? Perhaps that particular mom has attachment concerns. That's the main thing. And I always talk about the 5 stages of grief. I don't really see it as only applying to death. I see it as applying to all aspects of life. You know, denial, anger, bargaining, being depressed, accepting, and just things of that sort. So I would say actually identify and actually being open in the fact that you do struggle with attachment. The second thing is understanding where that attachment came from.
Yes.
I know it's tough for all of us to actually go back in our past and pick up a lot of old skeletons, because the past is scary, and a lot of times because we've suppressed our emotions for so many years, it is difficult in actually being able to regurgitate it again. So actually going back to the past and understanding, where this attachment came from. Another thing is a lot of times with attachment and then it just being wrapped around with trauma and things of that sort is self-regulating your emotions. A lot of times people are in a dysfunctional state. Their emotions are all over the place, right? Doing different activities that can help you self-regulate your emotions is also key, because we have to understand that if someone has been through so many different things that has actually raised a lot of negative emotions, they're going to be triggered. There's going to be a lot of reactions that perhaps they're not actually aware that they're actually reacting to certain things. So it's important to
self-regulate.
To regulate their emotions, because there's a lot of dysfunctionality going on. That's another thing. And then of course, if they're able to, see a therapist, if they're able to do that, and also talking to their kid, that's important. I think a lot of parents, sometimes there's a sense of entitlement, where maybe moms perhaps feel as if they own their kids, but understanding that yes, you do have to raise your kids, but it's okay to ask their kids, what are ways that I can improve. A lot of people don't want to do that because there's again this level of entitlement, and some parents are very authoritarian. They're not authoritative, right? So understanding that form of parental style is actually very it's positive, it's healthy, and it's not like I'm the mom, you're the child. It's a sense of secure attachment as well. There's a sense of emotional stability. So
Mhm.
asking your kids the right questions is very important to understand how you can actually build that form of
Mhm.
relationship that is needed.
Mhm.
And as well, journaling. Expressing how you feel is really important. And
Okay.
a lot of times we do suppress our emotions, but
Mhm.
journaling, listening to music that actually uplifts your spirit is also
Yes.
a good thing as well.
Mhm.
um, Research, there's so many different resources out there that can actually assist us, where sometimes you don't have to see a professional. You can also heal yourself as well.
Mhm.
And also taking that form of initiative is really important. So those are just some, Faith. I mean, I can't go through all of them, but those are
Yeah, those.
ways that they can kind of,
Yeah, those are good tips. I really love the fact that you talked about self-regulation.
mhm,
You have to self-regulate, which is really good, and that is when that person, that is if that person is able to catch themselves that okay,
right.
I think I'm going out of line. I think something is not right. Then
Hmm.
what about if we, because there are some people they don't even know that
Hmm.
they are so consumed, like so
Right.
immersed in their
Hmm.
emotions or attachment or their trauma. They don't even know how to help themselves. In
Hmm.
that case, what do we do? Or what would they do? Some people
Hmm.
don't even know. It's like it's not part of their daily routine. It's not part
Hmm.
of their, they live that lifestyle.
Right.
The only people that will see them is just maybe me and you.
Hmm.
You notice that, oh, something is not right. I think this person need help, but they
Hmm.
don't know that they do need help. It
Right.
becomes something really challenging. Maybe their partner, maybe their kids know that this person needs help, but the
Hmm.
person is so obsessed and they are not, they are not accepting that. Okay, I need help. So what would they do in that case? Because in order for you to self-regulate, which means you've come in terms with the fact that okay, I think something is not right here. I
Hmm.
think I have to, kind of, I've just caught myself that okay, I think I'm going out of, this is just too much. I have to be mindful. It's like mindfulness,
Hmm.
You're
Hmm.
so conscious of what you're doing. You're using your conscious mind. Okay, I think I think I'm just doing too much. I don't know why I'm too stressed. I've heard, I went for one seminar. The person talked about good stress and bad stress. I was like, what
Hmm.
is good stress? He said, yes.
Yeah.
So when she explained good stress and bad stress, I was like, okay, please educate me on that. And that day I was like, wow, I took something new with me. She said, good stress is yes, you have something coming up, you're stressed about it, and you know that yes, you're freaking out. I'm going to
Hmm.
present or I'm going to do this thing. This thing is really huge. But you're able to just stress out that moment and accept it. You're not
Hmm.
taking it forward, but the bad stress will now keep going. Like you take it forward. Oh, something happened to you. You take is now something that you cannot do without your stress over it, and from that moment, that stress is now something you need more help. Like you cannot
Hmm.
just help yourself. You're
Hmm.
stressed about it. You cannot come off that stress. You cannot even tell yourself that okay, it's okay, because there are sometimes we do uh, self-talk. I do that a lot. I do self-talk. When I'm stressed, I'll just say, okay, I think I have tried. I can kill myself. I normally use that. I'll just tell myself that, you know what, you've done well for yourself. You've tried. I do a lot of self-talk just to help me. So that is somebody that can self-regulate, because a lot of us, we have so much going on. Okay, maybe you have kids, you have so many things you're juggling at the same time. Of course, as a human being, you would definitely be stressed out. Okay, and but the only thing is for us to be mindful.
Right.
That mindfulness will help you to be able to self-regulate, as you've just said, which I really love.
Hmm.
And but my problem here is, what about those people that don't even really know that, they don't know how to, they don't
Hmm.
know how to self-regulate anymore? Is now like, yeah, I need you to help me out there. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, again, Faith. I mean, there are people who are at that stage, but there's something that it's called the 5 stages of change.
Yeah.
Something that I've spoken to my clients about, and wondering what stage are they at. Are they at the pre-contemplation stage, where
Yeah.
they haven't really thought about changing, but it's kind of at the back burner of their mind? are they
Yes.
actually the contemplation stage where, they've actually thought about changing in some way? There's no action is it, but they thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Are they at the stage where they are preparing to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing to actually prepare, some form of change in their life?
Mm-hmm.
Are they at the stage where they're at the action stage where they've actually implemented different steps that have, encouraged them to change? And then
Mm-hmm.
the last stage is called, maintenance stage, where they're able to actually, maintain the stages. But again, with change, it goes
Mm-hmm.
back to, are you ready? That's the main
Yes.
thing. Are you
Okay.
ready to change?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not ready to change, then there's no point in forcing anyone to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. But when I think, for example, in the sense where people know to a certain extent when things are kind of occurring in their life where
Mm-hmm.
things have been ingrained, in the
Mm-hmm.
sense where we know that we can pick up, different cues from people, different things of that sort. I believe that if someone is at the stage where they're totally they're not really aware that they need to go through some form of change, they
Mm-hmm.
can take advice from, people that are around them, ask questions, right? It's good to check up, on people, and ask simple questions. At the same time, there's different assessments out there that they can actually, engage in, that can kind of, show them just different patterns and changes of behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, let's say that maybe it was last year that someone realized that things have occurred, we can actually go back and figure out, well, what happened in that stage of their life that kind of, contributed to them going through some form of change that has altered their, just their emotions, their behaviors, the way that they interact with people. Those are some things that can be done for sure.
Wow. Thank you very much, Samantha. Right now, we'll go on 30 seconds break. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are back from our break, and Samantha Frederick is right here with us. For those of you that are just watching right now, I have a special guest with me. She was here with us about a month ago, and with special demand, we decided to bring her back. She's an expert. Privileged to reintroduce Samantha Frederick live on prestigious talk show. So she's here. She's a psychotherapist. She have MSW, Masters in Social Work. She has been educating us about women and mental health. And today our focus was we're just talking about 4 aspects of mental health because mental health is really broad. So she's been telling us different things. So if you've not been watching, you have to join us because there's a lot to learn from Samantha Frederick today. So stay tuned as we continue. So Samantha, welcome back.
Thank you, Faith.
Yes. So thank you very much, viewers. If you have any comments, please send us your message, and I will be able to read it out, and Samantha will be able to answer your questions. Feel free to send us a message. Samantha is right here with us. She'll be able to answer any question that you want her to answer. Please feel free to do so before we commence. All right, so we are going to actually talk about postpartum depression. That's our next section that we want to address right now. We know that most women, especially our main focus is on Black women too. Any woman can extract from this information is okay. It's open to all women. Yeah, we are not selfish, but it's open to all women. But mainly, we are looking at Black women. We talked about women and their attachment to their kids, and we also talked about trauma, and we talked about the fact that that attachment could be a cause of a past event in that person's life. Can be a trauma that has happened in the past or something that they've lost in the past that could lead to attachment to their kids. So our next one is going to be on postpartum depression. We are going to focus on Black women. So Samantha is going to be educating us. So stay back and listen. And we are going to talk about postpartum depression. We are going to focus on Black women. So Samantha is going to be educating us. So stay back and listen. And we are going to talk about postpartum depression. We are going to focus on Black women. So Samantha is going to be educating us. So stay back and listen. And we are going to talk about postpartum depression. We are going to focus on Black women. So Samantha is going to be educating us. So stay back and listen. And we are going to talk about postpartum depression. We are going to focus on Black women. So Samantha is going to be educating us. So stay back and listen. And we are going to talk about postpartum depression. We are going to focus on Black women. So Samantha is going to be educating us. So stay back and listen. And we are going to talk about postpartum depression. We are going to focus on Black women. So Samantha is going to be educating us. So stay back and listen. And we are going to talk about postpartum depression. We are going to focus on Black women. So Samantha is going to be edu and make sure you extract some information that will help your family member, that will help someone that you know. Okay, at this time, it is very imperative that each one teach one. Information is very vital. Okay, knowledge, they say, is power. Once you are aware, then you have power over that issue. So stay tuned and listen to Samantha. So Samantha, welcome back.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah. So let's address the issue of postpartum depression that is, widespread within the Black community. I know it's everywhere. Most women experience postpartum, whether Black, white, but I feel like because of other predisposing factors
Mhm.
that could lead to the spread of postpartum depression in Black women in the Black community. So we want to highlight that, and I want you to talk on that, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Sid. Um, with postpartum depression,
Yeah.
again, it's a type of depression that many women, may get after having a baby.
Yeah.
Um, it does start, anytime during the baby's first year.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's more common where it can affect a woman also during the first 3 weeks after the birth as well. Um,
Mhm.
if someone actually has postpartum depression, they may feel again sense of sadness,
Mhm.
hopelessness. They may feel guilty. They may feel as if they're not able to bond with the baby.
Mhm.
They may get frustrated as well. They may feel as if they're not able to care for their child as well, especially again if it's their first child.
Yes.
Again, there's not really a rule book in how to be a mom, so that can again lead to feeling depressed as well because you don't know what to do.
No
Um,
guideline. Yes.
yeah, there's no there's no form of guideline.
Yes. No rubrics. Yeah.
Right. And again, postpartum depression, it doesn't only affect first time moms, their
Yes.
moms who have had 2, 3, 4, 5 kids that can
Mhm.
also experience postpartum depression. Now, with that, people may ask, well, how do I get it? Well,
Mhm.
there are many different ways that people can get postpartum. Again, your hormones, that is a big thing.
Yeah.
Your hormones, again, their hormone levels are always fluctuating, right? When you're
Yes.
pregnant,
Yeah.
sometimes you can be really good where your hormones are high again, and there
Mhm.
are other times where your hormones can actually affect you. Again, there are also different stressors as well, like stress and problems in that sense, where there are
Mhm.
people who maybe they didn't want to get pregnant, it wasn't
Yes.
planned, right? It's something that kind of happened haphazardly, and in
Yes.
that sense now they have a human being who they have to take care of, where it's not
Mhm.
easy, right? The child's crying, they need nurture. They also need, again, going back to that form of secure attachment, that can
Mhm.
also lead to postpartum depression because,
Mhm.
again, it was something where both partners said, hey, you know what, we want to have a kid, and this is something where they're actually prepared for that.
Mhm.
In a sense where they're thinking about things like money, right?
Mhm.
Um, you know,
Support.
exactly. Babies
Mhm.
are costly. Food, clothing. If they're thinking of, maybe down the line, babysitters, things of that sort. And also, if a woman has been so independent, where she was working many hours, and now she has a baby, now
Yes.
right. So she's thinking about that form of financial
A
stability,
liberation.
right? So those are just some of the factors as well. And again, just thinking of young Black women who again are in high school, things of that sort, where they didn't have a planned pregnancy, that can
Mm.
also lead to postpartum, because again there's different expectations that society has on us
Mm.
as well, where they say at a certain age you should be doing this, by 25, 30, you should be married, by 35, 40, things of that sort. So that can also lead to postpartum depression. So some of the symptoms are actually so similar to depression because again it's a type of depression. So
Yes.
there's sadness, there's loss of hope, um,
Mhm.
there's like despair. Some women may actually cry a lot,
Mhm.
sometimes for like literally no reason. And again, I just talked, about just the changes, in their
In the
hormones,
hormones.
right?
Yeah.
And then just that troubling feeling of
Mhm.
not being able to bond with that baby.
Mhm.
That's something
Can also lead to another depression.
right, exactly. So and some of
Okay.
what Some of the symptoms as well, Faith, is just too much sleep. There are some women who actually
Yes.
sleep a lot. There are some women who experience, insomnia.
Mm.
There's a less interest in food, where they begin to lose a lot of weight. Even sex, their sex drive has actually also decreased as well.
Mm.
Self care is another thing where the things that they used to enjoy doing before, they no longer
Mm.
have that urge to do it again. Whether it's like hanging out with friends, maybe it was cooking, maybe it was going for walks. Those are things that they no longer engage in. And
Mm.
also it also has an effect on just people being able to focus, or even on even with their memory. So postpartum depression, even though it's a type of depression, we are more so focusing on a woman who has had a baby. That is the main thing. Now, the thing with postpartum depression is sometimes women aren't even aware of that they have, postpartum.
Yeah.
They can become extremely numb. Some women can actually disassociate, where they actually, leave their bodies and they enter into a different realm
Wow.
as well. So they're not even aware.
That they are going through.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Postpartum. Now, at the same time, and we always talk about triggers as well, right?
Yes.
Let's say a mom had her first child, and
Yes.
she did go through the whole postpartum depression. Now
Mm-hmm.
she has her second child. Different triggers that she had experienced with her first child can actually be passed down to the second child.
Second child.
So let's say the child constantly crying, just having just that need for comfort and food, just the things that babies need. Now
Yeah.
that mom, if she did not deal with her depression with her first child, again, she can go through the exact same cycle with her second child. And again, like I said before, if you're not aware that you have postpartum depression, that's something that can last for months as well.
Wow. You've just highlighted the parts that I really love. You said some mom, they are not aware that they
Mm-hmm,
have postpartum
mm-hmm,
depression. Sometimes they disassociate themselves, from social activity or other activities. And the fact that they are not aware, that really get me scared, because most women might not even know what they are going through or what they are passing through.
mm-hmm,
And that is really scary. The fact that you are not aware, you don't know, no knowledge of what is going on. And I don't think this this should be only, we shouldn't just focus on women, especially most women that have babies and they have partners. Their
mm-hmm,
partners might not even understand what they are passing through or what they are going through emotionally, mentally,
mm-hmm,
and they might be judging them, and that can also even trigger the depression, because they
right.
might see them as maybe lazy, or they might see them as something. Oh, what is wrong with you? Why are
Mm-hmm,
you so cranky, or why are you crying? They don't know that the hormones is just fluctuating. It's something that we have to, that is why we are doing what we are doing right now, so that people will gain that awareness. They will be aware of what is going on. Women, when they give birth, after giving birth, a lot of women go through postpartum depression without them knowing. So,
mm-hmm,
with a lot of support, love, and care, most women will be able to come out of it.
mm-hmm,
So, I really love the fact that you highlighted that. And if you're watching right now and you don't know how you're feeling, seek the help of a professional. Meet with a professional, your doctor, or meet with your what they call it, nurse practitioner. Yes, they can also help you. Meet with your guy or meet with a psychotherapist, just like Samantha Frederick. She'll be able to help you. A lot of women don't know, and if you don't know, it's even worse. And you can help yourself, and that is why we are doing what we are doing, to create that awareness. We're using this platform to create that awareness that these things are, they are all there. You have to be aware of it. If you're having that symptoms, go and meet a professional and they'll be able to help you out. Thank you very much, Samantha. We'll just go on 30 minutes break. We'll be right back, viewers.
And was
Hello, welcome back, viewers. I just said 30 minutes, 30 seconds, actually. Oh my goodness. I was like, okay, is it not
It's okay.
30 minutes? But can you imagine? Anyways, we are back. We are not going on 30 minutes break. So, welcome back, everyone. Yeah, I think I'm just too excited to have Samantha back here. So, anyways, just before we digress into our next question, which is the one that I have been waiting for because of the pandemic. A lot of women, they've been experiencing different kind of feelings. Some don't even know what they are feeling. Some are anxious. Some are tired. They don't know. Some of them, because of the fact that they are not financially stable anymore because of the pandemic. Some of them, they are going through a lot. Some are going through abusive relationship, and a lot of women are also having a mental illness during this pandemic. They are thinking, they are they are stuck in abusive relationship, which can also trigger other uh, mental health issues. It can lead to anxiety, can lead to depression, it can lead to insomnia. They can't sleep. Where will I get the next money to feed my child? Oh God, when is this pandemic going to be over? And most women, they are stuck with their kids 24/7, taking care of the kids, and they are doing more than what they do before. And yeah, so today we are here to address that. And Samantha is also going to help us to talk more about the pandemic, which is this period is over 1 year, almost 1 year
Yeah.
plus. Now we've been locked down the whole world, if you will. So
Mhm.
this is not something that is new. So we still have to talk about it because it has affected everyone. This is a global issue, and we just want to talk about it and focus on women too. How are they faring? And of course, we all know where we, as the women, where we are in the human hierarchy, where they've placed us. And again, we are not only looking at women now; we are focusing on Black women.
Right.
Okay, beneath in the hierarchy, they've positioned us under the hierarchy. So look at the situation right now. Where does that position Black women in the
Mhm.
society? So we are here to talk about that and how that can have a lot of effect in the head of a Black woman. So we are talking about the mental health, the mental aspect of it, and how that can have a strong impact on Black women. What can we do? How can we help ourselves? So
Mhm.
Samantha will be here to help us, and stay tuned as she's going to talk about that. So Samantha, here you are again. We need your help.
Thank you. Um, with the pandemic, no one actually saw that coming. That's the big.
Yes.
We didn't see the pandemic coming. We didn't plan for it. Um,
No.
exactly. But the
Mhm.
pandemic has affected something called the social determinants of health, which is, various factors that influence someone's mental health.
Mhm.
That can be race, that could be disability, that can also be education, that could be, income and income distribution.
Mhm.
That could be someone's social safety net,
Yeah.
right? So the pandemic has, influenced people's mental health where there's something like that I like to call the big three, which is
Mhm.
depression, anxiety, and suicide.
Hmm.
Yeah, these are the top three mental illnesses that have um, been pervasive, not just in Canada, but throughout the world.
Yes.
Since where more people are, depressed because
Mhm.
of a loss of job, right? There are,
Yes.
again, with and again, I mean, Faith, you said that we're focusing on women. So I'm thinking of women that perhaps are living on, by themselves,
Mhm.
where, there's no one around,
Yeah.
we're supposed to engage in social distancing.
Mhm.
And let's say with that particular woman, the job she had, it was contract based, which means
Yeah.
benefit, and her job is not considered essential. Well, what is she supposed to do? How is she supposed to make ends meet? How is she
Exactly.
supposed to provide for herself? Just things of that sort, and how that has influenced her mental health. She has rent to pay. Where is the money going to be coming from? Right? So just things of that sort where COVID has impacted many women. There are women
Mhm.
who are single mothers, who were working two, three, four, five jobs just to make
Yes.
money, and now
Yeah.
there's no form of income coming
Income. Yeah.
in that regard. There's also kids are home, right? They're doing
Mhm.
school online, and the thing that research has showed is um, the divorce rate or just people ending relationships has actually increased because a lot of people use the work and other things
As an escape route.
as an escape from, again, reality. And that's
Yes.
so I'm thinking of a woman who was not close to her kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very dysfunctional home, and now they're all home, right?
Yes.
For again almost a year and a half in that sense. So thinking how that has also influenced and impacted their mental health. People are now more scared in the sense where they have developed OCD, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're constantly washing their hands. They're constantly, using hand sanitizer, things of that sort. They're scared to be around people. That has
Mm-hmm.
influenced many women in that sense as well.
Yeah. If I want to ask you, because we'll have some viewers that want to know what OCD is, please can you
Right,
just tell them? Because they might be wondering what's OCD. Yeah,
right,
please.
right.
Before you
So
continue, sorry
it's
sorry for the interruption. Yeah,
okay.
go
So
ahead.
OCD stands for obsessive compulsory disorder. It's a form of anxiety. So
Mm-hmm.
under anxiety, there's about 7 or 8 different types of anxieties. So there's anxiety in general, where that pretty much impacts just your everyday function, and OCD, which is obsessive compulsory disorder, is a type of anxiety. So
Yes.
people are perhaps constantly washing their hands. It's very um, ritualistic, where they do a lot of things over and over and over again in that
Yes.
sense, and that's where the obsessiveness comes from. And again, with that particular type of disorder, um, it's again with these particular mental illnesses, it's more so in the mind in that sense. So that person might be washing their hands, they might be changing their clothes frequently, they might be going to the washroom more than once. They might be, wiping down their car or just their desk,
Mm-hmm.
over and over and over again. Even though it's clean, they're still doing it over and over.
Yes.
That's just an example of that. But,
Mm-hmm.
but in the sense, Faith, with the impact of the pandemic, it has done a lot of damage in the sense where going back to homes and homes perhaps being dysfunctional prior
Yes.
to the pandemic, and how that has influenced people's mental health. The suicide rate also proliferated in the sense where people don't want to be here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They are actually stressed out in that regard, and they've seen the numbers where it's more so with youth, with young people, because again,
Mm-hmm.
they're not around their friends, they're not
Yes.
around, their family members.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really around anybody now. They're
Mm-hmm.
doing their schoolwork. School for 6 hours is actually in their room for some of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that has impacted some women in that sense. Also, I'm thinking about just education. There are women who are actually going to school. They're
Yes.
finishing school. Now for some of them, school is closed. Or again, it's tough to do school online. You need that
Very
interaction
tough.
with your professor. So now
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to make ends meet. For some women as well, the pandemic has brought a lot of heartache in the sense where they don't know what to do. It's something, again, like I said before, Faith, we weren't prepared for this at all. Some women are now looking for jobs because, again, there are still some jobs in a sense where they're hiring people, but again, they're just using that platform because they have to, show face in that regard. So there are women who are
Yes.
constantly, applying for jobs, and they're not getting access to no jobs.
Yes.
Third, it's a very good thing, but the
Mm-hmm.
amount is not suffice for a lot of people because rent is high, especially in
Mm-hmm.
Toronto. It is quite high. So
Yes.
I mean, again, the government has done the best that they can, but at the same time, on a mental scale, this pandemic has done a lot of damage and has hurt a lot of people. Right?
Yes.
At the same time, on the contrary, the pandemic has done a lot of great things for people as well.
Yeah.
Where people are more creative, where they have created their
Mm-hmm.
own jobs, they have created businesses. It has brought out a better side of many people. I mean, we
Yes.
do always focus on the negative, which I understand, but on the
Mm-hmm.
contrary, there are families who've actually, they're actually more cohesive now, in that
Mm-hmm.
regard. So with women, I would say that the pandemic has done a lot of damage
Yes.
in that regard. And
Mm-hmm.
going back to the 3 different types of mental illnesses that I talked about with depression, just being depressed where you can't go outside. I think for
Mhm.
3 months or so, we weren't able to go outside.
Yeah.
Had to stay, locked down,
You, mhm.
wearing the mask all day. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you have to wear your mask. Not being around people that actually brought a lot of joy to your life.
Yeah.
Things of that sort. Doing everything on a virtual scale, which can be frustrating because human beings, we need each other.
That interaction.
We need that
Yes.
touch. We need that
Yeah.
interaction. So
Yeah.
being distant, from people who you care about has been difficult for many people, especially people who live on their own and they don't live
Mhm.
with a partner or with their parents and
Mhm.
things like that. So
Yeah, thank you so much. You've just highlighted so much. You talked about how this pandemic has really impacted the lives of women. The fact that a lot of people also benefited from this pandemic. So, but mostly women are affected because we have most women that are not that are new in their businesses. They don't know they are locked up now, and I know most countries they are helping out with funds, but not
mhm,
all countries. We are looking at it globally now. Women, they are the one that are going through a lot in terms of this pandemic. Women are more affected when it comes to how this pandemic has taken turn on people.
mhm,
So it is very, very important that we speak about this because we have to ensure that we recognize that women have a lot going on, even taking care of kids. We have some single mothers that are, they are the breadwinner of the home. They take care of their kids. They have different jobs, but now maybe they have three jobs before. They are now constrained to only do one job. And if
right,
that job is not an essential job, maybe they are not even working. And even though they are giving them some form of income, is not enough.
mhm,
It's not enough to sustain the family, and that can be really depressing.
mhm,
So it's a hard time. Nobody foreseen this. This was just something that came unexpectedly. Nobody prepared for this. But however, the reason why we are talking about this is just to talk about how women have been constantly put in the beneath the hierarchy,
mhm,
especially the human hierarchy, how we've been treated, and how most things, when it comes to a shift of a situation, and how that impacts the lives of women. So
yeah,
it is very, very pivotal that we know that women are the ones that are affected mostly when it comes to this period, this pandemic. We know that a lot of people they've benefited from this pandemic, but a lot of families too, they've also suffered. When we talk about people that are stuck in abusive relationship, we are also talking about women. They cannot escape from their abusers because
mhm,
now they are with the abuser
right,
24/7.
right,
So women are even more susceptible to, being killed. Okay,
mhm,
the pandemic has killed a lot of people, but hey, guess what? A lot of women have been killed because of the fact that they are stuck with their abusers, right? And again, a lot of women have also suffered from hunger. Depends on where they are, depends on the context. Okay, we are only talking from the perspective of talking from global north now, North America, talking
mhm,
from a privileged country, like Canada, US, or people that
right,
are in Europe. Look at other countries, developing countries. Okay, well, let's think about women that are in developing countries. How would this, how are they going to sustain or help themselves? No income, nothing, no help. So
mhm,
it is something that we have to think about when we are talking, and how that can impact them mentally.
mhm,
No financial, they are not financially secured, no money, nothing, no
mhm.
help. So it's something that is really tough. So if you have any questions, please feel free because we are almost coming to the end of the show. Samantha is right here with us. Please feel free to comment, and I'll read out the comments and she'll be able to answer your question. Please do that before we close. Samantha has been able to touch on so many things. We've talked about four aspects of mental illness, how women can have mental illness if proper measure is not taken. First and foremost, we talked about women and their attachment to their kids and how that can lead to mental illness. We talked about trauma. Past trauma can also be a predisposing factor that can also contribute to that. For some women to be that attached to their kids, they don't want to leave their kids. So it can be something that they've experienced in the past. Samantha touched on that. And now also talked about postpartum depression, how most women go through postpartum depression without them even knowing, which is even more scary for me personally. So some women don't even know that they are going through postpartum depression, but they are going through depression, but they don't know. Okay, so that is why we are here. We are also now talking about um, the pandemic, women and the pandemic, and how that can also have a huge impact in their mental health. So women have a lot going on. We need to support each other. We need this kind of information to help us to know so that we'll be able to help ourselves too. And Samantha highlighted something that I love so much. She talked about, was it something about self-help? I forgot the exact term you use. Yeah, facilitating self-help or something. What was that? Yeah.
You mean
When you yeah,
the self-regulation?
yeah, self-regulation and all that. Yes. So I believe with this awareness, yeah, if you're not aware before, with this information that we are bringing forward to you through prestigious talk show platform, if you're going through any of this four aspects that we've mentioned, you'll be able to recognize and seek for the proper help that you deserve. So that is why we are here. Please, if you have any questions, I can't emphasize this enough. Feel free to ask us, and please share this video. This video might help somebody. It might be able to transform somebody's life. I invited Samantha before to my show, and I got about 32,000 views. A lot of questions was asked, and that was why I decided to invite her again to this platform. So now she's live here with us. If you have any questions or any concern, please feel free to send us a message right now and I'll read it to her. With that being said, if there's no questions or anything, I really want to thank my guest today. Thank you, Samantha, once again for coming to Prestigious Talk Show. I really appreciate you. I know it is your time. The fact that you're willing to share your knowledge with the world, I really want to say thank you so much for doing this for us. Again, maybe we'll also have you back. Please let us know. Uh, I don't know. You've really helped us. Thank you so much. The world is watching. People are watching. I want to say a big thank you to Samantha. She's an expert. She's a social worker and she's also a psychotherapist. And she's an expert in her field. She's been in this field for over 12 years. Okay, she helps youth and she knows a lot about mental illness. So if you have any question, please feel free. Okay. With that being said, I want to thank Samantha Frederick again. Thank you for coming to Prestigious Talk Show. We'd like to have you back next time.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for
Yes.
having me again.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yeah. Thank you. So at this time, viewers, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook. We are on Instagram. Please subscribe, okay? You want this message to reach out to the world. Please do your own part by sharing this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Prestigious Talk Show. Our website is up. You can also go to our website, prestigiousfittings.com. I will tell you, go to prestigiousfittings.com. You can see everything on our website. Okay, if you want more information, visit our website. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, Prestigious Talk Show. Okay, subscribe to our YouTube channel and remember, you are not alone. I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.